Hey, this is Guy with Hammering V's Barbecue, and I wanted to make this video to kind of, show everyone here what pits I've actually decided to use for competition and talk a little bit about this machine, that you're seeing right here. This is a Camp Chef SmokePro DLX, model PG24, and it's been a really great unit. So out of the box, I actually did a few mods because there was a little bit of smoke leakage, a little bit of smoke and heat leakage, out of the box because these, this lid here, it shuts tight, but it had a few gaps here. So what I did is I actually installed some Nomex gasket there. This is very similar to what you'll find, being sold for, use on those Kamado grills like the Big Green Egg. And it works really, really, really well. It reduced the kind of escaping smoke, not 100%, but I mean no smoker is ever going to be that airtight, but it does a good job. I also added a couple of 2-inch dozy ant thermometers, to kind of down here to get my grill temps at a glance, my not my grill temps but the grate temps, and then one up higher here because as we know, it's very hot up here, so that way I can keep better track of temperatures, and I use that along with the built-in thermometer there, which is actually connected to the digital control unit that you see here. So it's been a very, very good smoker. For those of you who don't know much about pellet grills, or pellet smokers, they're pretty much a set it and forget it as long as you keep this thing fed with pellets, and they're pretty efficient. One 18-pound filled hopper here will last you, long time, and you can actually get some sleep when you're out doing competitions there. So this unit here, like I said, is a pellet smoker, and it is digitally controlled. It uses one of these kind of knob style, thermostats here, and have a few features there. You've got shutdown so that you can, what it'll do is it'll actually burn out the pellets that are in there so that you won't get like backfires up the hopper. You've got feed, so when you're starting this up for the first time, it'll fill up the auger with pellets. You typically won't use that unless you're clearing it out or you're starting it for the first time. You've got low smoke and high smoke. Low smoke's 180 degrees and high smoke is 210. I don't typically use that because it billows out lots of nasty white smoke, which, as you know, can, unless you're kind of going for that, it's going to be a lot of that white, nasty, smoke, which can easily oversmoke something if you're going that long. And besides, at 210, it'll take you forever to smoke some of the big pieces of meat. I typically flirt around 250 degrees for brisket and 275 for ribs, chicken, and pork butt. You can also grill with this thing. The Camp Chef says it goes up to 500. Typically I can get this up to 475 degrees. So you can sear on this thing if you get grill grates or something along that line. So, that works very, very well if you're going to do the reverse sear, where you're smoking out that, you're smoking the, your steak first and then searing it off, and it works really well in that respect. So inside, this is about 429 square inches of cooking space, which is kind of small, for competitions. I'm going to pick up another one of these units, except I'm going to buy the big brother of this thing, which is the Lux, which pretty much doubles the capacity of this unit here. That way I can, cook in my 4K CBS categories with no problem there. You've got a warming rack there, which I don't use too much. Typically if I'm doing stuff at home, I'm going to use that to kind of heat bread or whatever, but I also put my water pan up there when I'm doing those long, low and slow cooks. Kind of going around the side here, you've got your grease catch here. Works really well. You've got a heat diffuser inside there, then you also have a drip tray, and it goes right in there, without making a mess inside. And it also has that, Camp Chef patented ash cleanup release, which is really helpful. I typically clean out the pit after every single cook because I want to keep things really clean and nice in there. But typically, Camp Chef recommends cleaning it out completely every 40-50 hours, but I do it after every cook. You got the smoke stack here. You know, you've got this smokestack cover here. It's adjustable. You know, I typically keep it around that height because I do want some good airflow. You kind of go around here to the unit. So as you can see, this unit is it's a pretty nice size unit, you know, to use it at home. It's got some good characteristics. Like I said, I smoke between 250 and 275. And for those of you who know pellet grills, as you go higher above 275, the level of smoke kind of goes down because it starts burning a lot more efficiently. So that's one thing to keep in mind here, that if you're one of those hot and fast barbecuers, you know, you're typically cooking around 325 or more, you know, these kind of may not be the right option for you because you're not going to get that level of smoke when you start cranking these things up. But anything below, you know, 275 and lower, you know, this thing will pump out a lot of smoke. So no problem getting smoke rings on my meat. You know, I know a lot of people complain about that, but you know, I smoke a brisket here for 10.5 hours and then, you know, add another 2 hours for the burnt ends, and I'm getting a smoke ring that's almost a 1/4 inch, you know, around the whole piece of meat. So yeah, just kind of wanted to share that here. You know, I'm a pellet head, so and this is the Camp Chef SmokePro DLX PG24, and the larger unit is the SmokePro LUX or Lux, which pretty much almost doubles that, you know, 429 square inches. I believe the Lux is around 850 square inches, so it's going to be a lot bigger unit. So, you know, this thing is, you know, set it and forget it. You know, you can just kind of concentrate on kind of, you know, monitoring your meat. It has a built-in meat probe thermometer, which I don't use. I typically use, you know, kind of when I'm doing some competition practice here, I use the Bluetooth connected Weber iGrill, which works really well, and you know, have that connected, you know, to my smartphone, so that I can be inside the house or, you know, 100 feet or away or so, and still get those temperatures and kind of set alarms to let me know when to check for tenderness and all that good stuff. So yeah, so this is a guy at Hammering V's Barbecue, and this is the Camp Chef SmokePro DLX.